Welcome to my YouTube channel. So the other day, I was like in a heels dance class that I go to every second week when I don't have my kids. And I'm at this dance class, and there's a lot of really beautiful women, and they have really nice bodies. And I was looking at it, and I can already feel like I was starting to get very self-conscious about my own body. And I then I'm looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden now I'm criticizing my body. I don't know why lately too, in the last little bit, I've been very self-conscious about my body, and feeling very just insecure about it. So I'll get more into that. But I'm at this dance class, and you're in a mirror because they want to you watch yourself while you dance. It's that type of class. And then I'm looking at these other people, and I'm getting self-conscious, and all of a sudden now I feel I'm bigger. I feel like I look worse. And then I was like, wait 1 second. It's why am I doing this? Why am I sitting there and saying oh, I'm fat, oh, I'm ugly, oh, I can never wear something like that, and saying all these bad things to myself about myself. And then the more I said it, the more, as I was looking in the mirror, I started to look that way. So then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna try something different, because I've been really on this thing about controlling my thoughts and what thoughts come in my mind, so that I can think better thoughts, because what you think you are. So I want to really focus on rewiring my thoughts to more positive. So then I started, you're beautiful, and I was very big when I was in my long-term relationship. So even to be where the size I am now is amazing, because that was a lot of weight loss. It must have been over 50 pounds lost. So I just started to tell myself, you are beautiful. Look at your hair. Look at those beautiful freckles. Oh my goodness. And the more I did it to myself in this moment, when I was looking in the mirror, I started to feel sexier. I started to be more confident. And then we started dancing, and I was really feeling it. And it just really reminded me of you are what you think. So I have everybody picks apart parts of their body. We all do it. So I started to be okay, the whole point of wanting to manifest a new reality for myself is that I need to have those thoughts. So I started in the mornings you're beautiful, you have beautiful skin, because I'm always self-conscious about my skin, and I always have since I was young, because when I was 10 years old, 10, I was in grade 8. I found out I had a nickel allergy, and I had this horrible rash from the belt. I would stay home continuously. I would get teased about it, because it was what they considered very gross. I was teased a lot. And I was so self-conscious. So I was very self-conscious about my skin. So I just started, and I honestly being now at this age, knowing what I know now, seeing how my skin is, I take very good care of my skin. I have gorgeous skin, and I know it. So the fact that I was even, talking about myself in such a negative way, for years, I made this identity that my skin wasn't good. And when you do that, you actually believe it, and your external world reflects it. That's why it's super important to say positive things to yourself. So let's say, you're not in the best shape that you want to be, and you see somebody who has a nicer body, or a body you want. Instead of putting yourself down, be that woman is beautiful, I love it, my body is beautiful just how it is now, but I'm going to work towards that kind of body. And you do that by working out and taking care of yourself, because there's nowhere written anywhere that says that I cannot have that body one day. And there's nowhere written there that's saying the body I have now is not a beautiful body. I honestly love my body. But you have these moments where you start getting negative thoughts, and then you convince yourself that this is true from your thoughts, when it's not. It's not true. And once you flip it, once I flipped my thoughts because I feel like I go in like a spiral where I have negative thoughts and all of a sudden my skin looks horrible. I'm gaining weight, like, and it's not actually happening. Once I flip it, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my skin's so beautiful. Because like the more you do that and you think positive thoughts, it reflects and it shows. Because like realistically, like, to be honest, life is actually just like a smoke show. It's all about like what you believe. You can actually create your own reality with your thoughts. So if that's the case, then why can't I have that body? Maybe it's not a body I have at this moment, but doesn't mean I won't have it in 3 months. It's like I keep saying I'm going to manifest a new face. Obviously, I don't mean like a whole new face. I'm still going to look in the same way. But I have like this like image in my mind, and I can see it, and I can see her, and it's my future self like 3 months from now. And I can see her like tanned from like the sun, and I can see what she's wearing, how her hair is done. And I'm like, honestly, like yesterday I got in my car and was like, oh my, like I feel like I'm starting to get that way. And I think it's just because, you know, I keep thinking of that image and I want it so bad, but I'm doing things. Like, I'm not just like, oh, thinking about the image and then hoping it will occur. What I'm doing is I'm actually working out. I'm actually eating healthy, and I'm keeping that in my mind. So naturally, I am in a way manifesting a new face, because it's going to be this like thinner face than I have now. And I'm going to be all, you know, tanned in the summer. So I'm actually like, I know I'm going to look like that in the summer, probably even dress the same way. And it's things like that. But the thing about beliefs is not always about like how you look. It's also about the things that you believe that you deserve. And I think there was so many things in all my relationships, every single one of them, like, I'm telling you, every single one of them, I always had this belief that somebody was choosing me for someone else, that somebody wanted someone more. Friendships, I always felt left out. I always, you know, not involved. Like I shouldn't feel that way. But then it was a lot about, why do I feel like this in so many of my relationships? And it's because deep down, I feel like I'm not good enough for them. But I am good enough for them. I'm very much good enough for them. So good enough for them that, like, honestly, anybody in my life, we're lucky to have each other. Like, there's no reason that I should feel that way, because I know who I am as a person, and I'm an amazing friend, and I'm an amazing individual, and I'm kind and compassionate. You have me as a friend. You have somebody who would drop anything to go help you. And I think I just had it in my mind from such a young age that this was like, I was not being chosen. And then it reflected in every single one of my relationships. And I would like create like an inner conflict that probably wasn't there. Luckily now, like how my life is, like I have like very tight group of friends that, you know, like make me feel good and build me up, and very much like align with who I am as a future self. So it's not so much in that experience anymore about being chosen, because like, to be honest, like we all just kind of like attracted each other, and it's beautiful. And that's why I'm like really like super proud of myself to have such good support and like good friendships around me. I'm super lucky for that. But before, it wasn't like that, you know, and there was a lot of things that I was like, I would constantly like believe that I had friendships that I wasn't good enough for. So then what I would do is I would change myself so I could fit in with them as much as possible. And in that process, ended up losing myself. Now I'm at that point where I know who I am. I know who I want in my life. And I actually get to choose who is in my life. I took my power back. And that's why it's super important about like your beliefs and what you believe, because that will actually shape your reality. And you know what's a funny thing is, like, you know how there's that saying where it's like, I will never end up like my mother, that kind of thing, or I will never be like my father. It's so funny because like I would say that at a young age too. And like, I love my parents, they're amazing. And we all say that, I think, at a time. But I think like when I was saying that and stuff, then I was like sort of kind of noticed things happening that I was like, as I got older, and I was like, oh my goodness, like that's something my mom would do. So being aware of it, having that self-awareness, I could change it. But that's the thing is, like, when you're at a young age, you're being raised by your parents, and your parents give you their beliefs, and you were raised in their lifestyle. So no matter what, you can say all you want that you're not going to end up like them, but it's like a subconscious pattern that will appear. But that's why you got to be self-aware, and you got to change it. So I started to believe that actually, yeah, like I grew up in a home where there was a parent who was hoarding. Doesn't mean I have to be a hoarder. So immediately I focused on that, and I actually like really focused on that, and I made sure to get things out as fast as I could. And it was like a big journey of doing that. And now, like, looking at my environment, I'm like pretty proud of myself that I like, you know, came through with that, like worked towards being a better version of myself by recognizing that and having that self-awareness. And that's the thing is, like, even now, like, I'm really trying hard to like say positive things to myself and not negative things, and to think to myself, because there's moments where I have doubt, like, is this actually going to happen? If I have that little doubt, then no, it's not going to happen, because now I'm blocking it, because now in my head, I'm telling the universe that, you know what, I really do want this, but I don't think I can, I don't think I'll get it. And the universe is like, well, if you think that, then you're not going to get it. So now I'm going to be like, you know what, why not me? Why can't this happen for me? Why? Like, there's nothing special about it happening to other people. It's just they have the belief that they can do it. When you, I feel like we all think in this like box, and you're very contained in that belief. And that's why I was always like very much called a dreamer, because I would always try to get out of that box. I was like, well, why not? Why can't it be me? Like, there's nothing, what is different from me and somebody who's successful in the things I want to do? Nothing. There's nothing. You just got to be consistent and show up. But there's nothing different. There's nothing that makes me more, less unworthy of receiving that. And it's all in your belief. If you think it, you become it. So if I can think it, I can become it, then realistically, I can become whatever I want. So why not think of like the most amazing things? Think of the life and the person that you want to be, and you will become it. But yeah, like, that's why I'm very focused on my beliefs right now, because I was going through a little period where I was really being hard on myself, and I was really having doubts, and I had to pull it back, and I had to really focus on what I was saying to myself inside my head. Because I was like, well, this is like, you know, you expect people to treat you a certain way, but yet you're treating yourself this way. So that's what's going to show in the external world. If you're talking to yourself and you're telling yourself all of these things, well, guess what? The universe is going to show that to you, because that is what you believe. So that is what you're going to see. But if you, and it's very hard. Like, I always say, like, it's like for every negative, you need like 2 positives. And it's a lot of self-awareness. Like, you got to stop yourself in track and be like, because it's such a small inner voice that it just trickles in, and you don't even become aware of it until it's said a few things to you. And then you have to pull back and be like, you know what? That's not true. I don't believe that. And I believe this. And that's why I feel like shadow work is a huge thing, because it actually reflects to you on where you're blocked and what thoughts and how you feel about yourself and why you feel that way. Because if you can change that, then it opens up the doors to think of a whole new reality, because you're not limited, because you worked through it. You realize that this actually doesn't have to be your story. And yeah, it could be whatever you want. And this life, the life you're living, if you're not happy with it, you definitely have the power to change it. You definitely don't have to live this life. You can change it. And you know what? Change it every day by doing a little bit something of the quality and the habits of something that your future self would do. Do it every day, little by little. And next thing you know, your future self is your present self. And that's all I have today.